You guys, check this out. This whole bag only cost me $1. Yes, $1. Let me show you what I do with some of the stuff inside. Let's just first start by saying hello and welcome to the Yohos. I'm Lisa, and Mark will be joining us a tiny bit later for a little help that I needed. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. You might want to consider subscribing too, because you know what? We do a lot of fun things on this channel, a lot of DIYs. And if you're not new here, we want to say thank you so much for coming back. I today wanted to do another Christmas craft. Of course, 'tis the season, but looking outside, I just wanted to do something cozy. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I got this bag. It was a fill-a bag for $1 at our local thrift store. Yes, please. And at the bottom of the bin, I found these 4 tiny nutcrackers. Oh, they were adorable and naked. So of course I needed to paint them. And then I thought, hey, why don't I make stocking hangers out of them? Anyways, cozy up, you guys, and have a watch. So I just quickly sketched up each nutcracker, and they are all 4 different. I know I only showed 2 of them earlier, but we did have 4 that were completely different. So I just put the names and what their coats look like and their hats looked like, just so when I got to painting, I was organized. As crafty nerdy as that sounds. I just got these paintbrushes online. I'm pretty sure the dollar store sells them. I feel like these are maybe a step up from the dollar store, as bad as that sounds, but like not that big of a step up because I think they were only $6. Anywho, so I just picked the paintbrushes that I liked and had them all ready to go and enjoy this massive painting montage. Not gonna lie, it's kind of satisfying to watch. And just a little side note, when I said all the colors of their coats and their hats, they match all of our coats and all of our hats that we wear in the winter. Because of course I'd do that. I just thought I'd quickly pop in here and say all of these paints are just from the dollar store. Nothing too crazy, and the silver and gold, oh, they turned out so great. What a neat little pop of shine, really. I also painted 2 coats on these naked nutcrackers. They are wood, and so the first coat really soaked up pretty quickly. So now, if you've never seen this little tool, it's a dotting tool. Let me tell you, it is fun. I've done all kinds of art that you do little dots and anyways, again, just with paint, there's a small side and a big side, and I just thought of some small little details. It would be kind of fun to use this little guy. And I again got it at the dollar store. What are you doing there? Are you being nosy? Thanks, Mark. Here's all the pieces of wood that he cut for the bases and the stand, and also to put the little hooks in, which you shall see later. I'm excited. These are going to be so cute. I just started by painting both of the pieces of wood white, and you'll see at the end or near the end that I kind of changed it up a little bit and did red for one and white for the other, like 2 and 2. So you'll see that anyways, not to worry. And again, like usual, 2 coats. Now this wood is actually just leftovers from our craft cabinet build, which I will link below as well. But anywho, so we thought we'd use up some scrap wood with this, so we didn't actually have to go out and buy it. Although if you did have to go out and get some, you know what, it's not really that pricey. It's just a pine, unfinished pine. I think it's actually called laminated pine. So this next step, I thought I'd keep it simple. Yes, I have a Cricut machine, and yes, it would be a heck of a lot easier, but for those of you who don't, I thought I'd let you guys in on the action too. Hope Santa brings you one, because they really are quite amazing. Anywho, so I have just printed this off on the computer, and what I'm going to do is do my whole carbon paper trick. So you put the piece of paper down and you put the carbon paper underneath, transfer it onto the piece of wood, and pull it off, and voila, all you have to do is paint around the letter. So if you are worried about not being a great painter or don't have a very steady hand, you know what, it's not that big of a deal, because what I'm going to do at the end, you'll see that it kind of corrects any minor mistakes. Now big huge ones, forget it, but little tiny ones, you'll see what I mean here closer to the end of the video after the letters are completely dry.
Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now are you, dear old man? Whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can. When the clock is striking 12, when I'm fast asleep, down the chimney, broad and black, with your pack you'll creep.
Okay, so this is where all the little mistakes get tidied up. Now, these pens I just bought online, and let me just tell you, they are a dream. They are an acrylic-based Sharpie paint pen. Yes, I saw them online and I had heard great things about them, and yes, they are wonderful, I must say. You do need to shake them up really well, and they almost need a little bit of a prime, I think it's called, that you kind of have to dab down on the little applicator pointy thing, and then the paint comes to the end. I think that's just for the first use, possibly the second, depending on how often you use them. And look at me hiding all my little mistakes with this pen. See, I told you. So now this next step is totally optional, but I just kind of wanted them a little rustic-y, antique-y, I don't even know. I just wanted them well worked in, if you know what I mean. So I'm just taking the sander on, I believe it's a 120 grit sandpaper, and just giving it a quick sand with the orbital sander. Now you could totally use a piece of sandpaper with your hands, that would totally be fine. I just wanted to save my hands and use this little beast instead. So now I hope you guys are still following along here quite cozily. Anyways, this the next step is an easy peasy step two. I'm just making a couple of little pilot holes in the wood for the little tiny screws, screwing them in, and there's my hook. We also got these hooks online. Pretty sure we got this 3-pack, and I think there was 30 in the pack, so 10 of each color. I believe it was $15. How can you go wrong? Especially if you have any projects in mind, or you can just save them in your craft stash like I would, little hoardy McGee that I am. So just get a drill bit that's the same size as the screw pretty much, and then go to town, and just be very careful putting it into the drill. I just go really slow and just turn it really slowly and then lock it into place and position exactly where you need it, and very gently pull the trigger and make your little holes. Now you don't have to go too deep with these holes because these screws are really little. So now once everything was painted, and before we actually put the pieces together, I put them outside really quickly and gave them a quick top coat. For what reason, I don't know. I guess maybe to just preserve them a little bit longer. Hopefully we can have these forever. I always made sure I brought them inside because I know it's so cold out there that the clear spray paint, wouldn't dry very well if I left them out.
Hey everybody, so we've got a special commission from Lisa to create these wooden stocking holders to go on the mantle. So she's given me 4 of them. Obviously I'm going to start with mine. So I'm just going to attach pieces of wood to the bases, and that's it. Put these in. We're going to slap 3 screws into the bottom of this thing. First thing we want to do is get the right depth of where this is going to sit. So I've got my accommodation square already pre-done here. So that is going to be the back edge. So that means the screw holes are going to go here. A little marking for each screw hole. Alright, so I got the pilot holes done. Now I want to do the same thing on this side with measuring the distance, so I line it up properly. So let's just do that. 1, 2, and 3. Now the tricky bit. You might be saying to yourself, how are you going to hold that in place while you screw more pilot holes underneath? Well, the simple answer is clamps. Just want to line it up on either side here so it's visually centered. Good. The edge of the work made. That's what I need to do. Clamp it in place. There. Alright, so that's one. So we got that clamped. Now, just fits nicely in there, and then I can drill my pilot hole. Countersink. I'm just using these little 6x1 inch wood screws. Really handy things to have on hand. Handy to have on hand. Pretty not too bad. One last pilot hole. One last countersink. One last screw. All done.
Just going to glue every single one of these with a jobble of glue, maybe. Give it a generous amount. And I'm just going to one there. Good morning, little guys. How did everybody do last night? They are on there really well. Perfect. Now it's time to make them a little cuter. Zhuzh them up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going through my same little bag of goodies, and I just kind of took out the smaller bits. So I did not buy any of this year. This was, of course, pine cones from the cottage, as you've all seen that video. I will link that in case you haven't seen it. I don't know what to use here. We shall see.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your post notification bell so you will get notified every time we post a new video. The Yohos!